Little Sarah had a rough first night, poor Dolly. Seemed to be sleeping soundly when I came in to wake her up this morning. Her eyes were closed, but they weren't resting. I could see when I got closer she was squeezing 'em shut. I opened the curtain to let her know it was safe to open her eyes. She was glad to see the sun, but seemed upset to see me. Must have forgotten that she's not home. I asked her if she slept at all, and she wasn't sure. But downstairs at the table soon after, that precious thing fell asleep in front of her breakfast. Adorable. But I wonder why she would place my mother face down on the nightstand.
I told Grandma how the old pictures were scaring me, so she took me around the whole house, pointing out every single one of them and telling me who that person was and what they were like. Turns out most of them are family to me. That makes them less scary, but only during the day.
The house is empty. I don't know where Thomas and Tommy went. I wish I could bring myself to go looking, but I can't move. I'm not sure where these chains came from.
Family or not, those faces still scare me at night. They have to pee, and the only bathroom here is downstairs. Those pictures hang all along the staircase. So, with hands cupped around my eyes, I start down the stairs. They're even scarier here than the ones at home. But I'm not closing my eyes this time. As long as I don't see the faces, it's safer to just block them with my hands. But no, I can't hold the rail now. So when the next step isn't quite where I feel it should be.
Thought I heard something. I may be an old fart, but my hearing is sharp. Don't know what that rumble was that woke me up. But now I can hear something else. One shatter after another, glass scattering through the house, room to room and along the halls. I can't get up. Trying my best, but every crash is like a punch in the chest, and I'm breathless in my bed from this series of brutal beats. This was never a town of intruders. But there was no such thing, because everyone was always welcome anywhere. But that's what it sounds like to me. Careless looters who don't mind waking me up while they break things and take things. Let 'em take or break what they want, as long as they don't go upstairs. Sarah better stay put up there.
I was so mad after I fell that I forgot how scared I was. So I got up and I ran around down the stairs, smashing all their horrible faces.
Broken glass and bloody footprints all over the floor, little red tracks leading back to Sarah's room. I can never see those people again. The pictures were all I had left of them. Can't believe she would do that after I explained how important they were. Almost 200 years of ancestry destroyed at the hands of that little girl.
The chains won't leave me. I twist and I pull and I try all that I can to free myself from these cold, rusty restraints, but the more I struggle, the more entangled I become, as though with every move there are more chains and linking and webbing all around me. But still I fight with all my might to somehow slip from their ever-tightening grip. And the more I fight, the more chains there are, until I am no longer bound by them, but buried under them, crushed under a mound of metal.
I was playing fetch with Smokey until one of the times he just kept on running right past the stick and towards the woods. I chased him as far as I could, but I won't go into those woods. I stood at the edge calling for him, whistling, but he was gone. I wonder what spooked him so bad. I don't know what to tell Grandma. She's already mad about the pictures, and she's had Smokey for longer than I've been alive.
Sounds awful, but I'm glad to be rid of that dog. He just would not die. Looked for a while like he might outlive me, and I won't have that. And the older they get, the worse they smell and shed and mess in the house, but not the kind you can just pick up with a napkin. You gotta scrub on your hands and knees, and I'm too old for that mess. Especially now that I'm looking after Sarah. It's too much. She loved that dog, though, just like her mother did. Keeps looking out the window to see if he's coming. Better for her to picture him out there running around somewhere than finding 'em dead one day in the house. This really is a blessing. I know that sounds awful.
I was hoping to keep this quiet, but nothing goes unheard in a town like this, and people seem awful shook up over it. Jim won't say a word in his own defense. Hasn't said any words at all. Won't even open his mouth to eat. Just clenches his jaw and grinds his teeth, rocking back and forth in that cell.
Every guy in Farron was in love with Sarah Lords, and when she became Sarah Garson, Jim became the envy of us all. Not that we weren't happy for him, but we were all waiting for him to slip up in some type of way so one of us could come swoop in. Nobody saw this coming, though. What kind of man thinks that a treasure of such beauty is to destroy? Sheriff's a good guy, but he's never had to handle anything like this. So me and the boys better handle it for him.
I look for Smokey every day, whistling all around town because he always came back when I whistled. I learned how to just for him. Grandma taught me. I never could before, but now I'm real good at it. Still, though, he won't come. I thought I saw him peeking out of the woods, but it was just Tommy from school. He poked his head out like a dog and then disappeared back into the leaves. Actually, I wonder if I should tell someone I saw him. He hasn't been to class lately. But then it's my fault if he gets in trouble, and I think he saw me notice him, so he'll know it was me and be mad. And he can be mean sometimes. Well, I got no time to worry about Tommy. I gotta find Smokey. I try to whistle louder, but then I push too hard and no sound comes out at all. I sure hope he hears me.
I like to play hide and seek. My dad works all day, and then he's tired when he gets home, so he can't play. But there's a girl I know from school. Maybe she wants to play. Heard kids in class saying how bad things happened in her house. So I guess that's why she's here with her grandma. Not sure what happened, but I'm glad to see her around. Next time I hear that pretty whistle on those sweet little lips, I'm going to ask her to play. My dad says that we can play anywhere in town as long as we don't go in the woods or near the church. They're working on the wall in the back of the church, my dad and his guys. He says to stay away from his work sites, that it's dangerous, but I bet that's the perfect place to hide. Nobody would find me in there.
I made a new friend today. Knew him from school, but we never talked. He used to seem sort of funny to me. And not in a fun way, more like he's strange, but I don't want to be mean, so I say funny instead. It turns out he's really nice, though, and really funny. He lives near my grandma, so I saw him outside while I was looking for Smokey. He helped me look for a while, and then all that looking around got us thinking about hide and seek. He's really good at it. Finds me every time, and I can never find him. But it's still fun. We play every day and keep an eye out for Smokey. Who's the best hider of all, I guess. Still can't find that dog. I'm glad I found Bobby, though.
Folks aren't friendly anymore. Not like they were. Used to seem rude to pass by a person without saying hi and smiling. Now it seems strange to even look at them. Everyone walking with their eyes low to the ground, like they're afraid of other people's faces. And if you happen to swap glances, they will glare at you and walk away faster. I don't understand this. Is it something in the water?
Pipes run from the well to every home in Fearing. Makes it much easier. But too much convenience makes you take things for granted, and soon you don't appreciate a darn thing. I miss the old days when things were just a bit harder, but somehow more pleasant. So I decided to show little Sarah how we used to do things around here when I was a girl.
Grandma took me to the well today to get some water, even though it comes straight from her faucet. It didn't really make sense to me, but she seemed excited, and she never gets that way, so I went along with her. She always looks so tired, but on the way to that well, she had the step of a young girl like me, and I couldn't believe how she was able to pull that pail all the way up and out. Except the Rope slipped at the last second, and the pail fell all the way back down for a long time until we heard a splashy echo. Grandma seemed embarrassed that she let it slip, almost like she might cry. I asked if I could try, and she said no. And we went back to the house, but I tossed a penny in first and made a wish.
The day I can't pull water from the well is the day I jump in head first. That rope did not slip. I let go when I saw what was in that pail. All I could see was a wet tail sticking out, but I knew it was Smoky. So I dropped him back down the well before Sarah could see.
Mrs. Lords called me up to retrieve her dog from the well.
Looks like old Smoky had started to dissolve in the water. It was all black and thick like oil when I pulled him up. Wonder how long we've been drinking dead dog water. Has it infected us? Or is this virus airborne? In the ever-thickening gray, or worse, something inherent in us, dormant until now. The unknown is never to be reconciled. Whatever it is, something has shifted. We walk the same terrain, but on a new, darker wavelength, a dimension of demented paranoia where everyone is a shadow version of the person I used to know. A shadow only forms when something is backlit so beautifully, but in this one is self-fulfilling, like a bad omen. Our community is in the dark and there is no light behind it. Only darker and darker as far as I can see. What is this well of degenerate energy, and has it been dwelling beneath us all along? And how in the hell did we manage to tap into it? How do we tap out? No, we can never tap out. We need to snap out of it, all of us. Or is it just me? Am I projecting all this onto the rest? Am I justifying my own insanity? What am I even saying? Not sure which is worse, being afraid of something or being afraid of nothing. Now, I don't mean being fearless. I mean being afraid of something you have yet to identify that may or may not be there. But that fear is as real as anything. Why am I saying these things? Better keep these inner tirades to myself. No one can see me unraveling. Hold it together just a little longer. I am stronger than this. I am. But do I try to ignore this or heed the warning? Is it nonsense or a promise? Maybe it is just me, and all I have to do is shut out these silly ideas, tormenting as they are. I need to keep my head on straight, and everything else will straighten out eventually. This will all blow over. Just stop thinking about it. Put it out of your head. How do I do that? Actions are voluntary, but a thought, there's no accounting for that. It doesn't need to ask your permission, it just occurs to you. And the things occurring to me right now are something of a nightmare. And that seems to be crawling into our formerly pleasant reality. The line is blurring between dream and waking. That space between is a place we do not want to be. Just let it be just me. I will happily bear this burden. Well, no, not happily, but please, just leave my people alone.
Fearing is a town made entirely of stone, and my grandfather carved and laid every last one, street to street and door to door, as well as the entire outer wall which extends a mile into the surrounding woods, from a time when a stone wall could actually protect against outer threats. Now it only serves to keep us in, not by some outdated, vaulted archways under lock and deadbolt, but from the implication. Yeah, old Granddad was awful proud of that wall, and this church, it was his life's greatest work, the centerpiece of Fearing. It'll be standing in 1,000 years, but like any masterpiece, it needs upkeep. My father took over once Grandpa got too old, and I took over after that. Now I'm an old man. older than they ever were, and it looks like this is going to be my last job, mending the rear corner wall of this cathedral. Problem is, I can't pass it on to my son because he's still just a boy. My wife had him well past her prime, long after we had lost all hope, to the point where we had both made peace with it, at least I had. When she found out little Bobby was on the way, I hate to say it, but I wasn't ready to wager her life against his. She was too old. I knew she wouldn't make it through. We had already cheated life in conceiving, but she would not cheat death in the delivery, and she didn't. Then just me and the boy his entire life. I do my best, but I wasn't made for this. My wife was. I was made to carve and lay stone. These old bones are talking to me now, letting me know it's time to rest after this. After I place this last stone in the church wall, I can't bring myself to do it, though. Once that stone is in place, my place in this town is lost. Just be an old man taking up space after that. I need to walk away from this. I'm going to go for a walk around town and come back to it a little later. And when I'm ready to seal my fate, I'll close up the wall.
We play all the time, me and Sarah. It gets harder and harder to find good hiding spots. Looks like my last chance to hide in that wall. They're almost finished over there. My dad walked away, but he might come back any second. And he'll kill me if he finds me in there. Better just hide in the bushes nearby.
That gray cloud above us has made its way down to earth, consuming our entire community. Seems funny to be still talking about the weather. Force of habit, I suppose. Never was much in the way of discussion going on around here, mostly for lack of an interesting topic. Now this gossip is going around about what happened. Only makes it worse. Contagious almost. One person hears about it and passes it on and so on. But they're not just spreading the rumor. Not a rumor, I wish it was. But that's not all they're spreading by talking about it. Like whatever was behind that awful event is getting passed along too. That doesn't just happen. There is a factor at play here, and the only common denominator is this goddamn gray. Here I am still talking about the weather. Guess I missed when that was all there was to discuss, but also this devastating shade all around us seems to coincide with a certain recent events. Wish it would go away, along with whatever negativity is floating around it. No reason to believe it, as in logic and reason. I'm no detective, but there is a connection here, and I cannot help but anticipate what'll happen next. The dread of it, the fearing. That is the hardest part, because even if nothing ever happens, until it does, you will always feel it hanging over your head like a deadline on which someone might end up dead. The dread is the worst of it. When it happens, at least when it happened, you can identify it. Of course, there is always something looming. No matter what happens, the next thing is right around the corner. Or not. The fear is the mystery, and the mystery is the gray, the ever-expanding, all-consuming gray that I fear is here to stay. What horrors still await us in there? What happens next? Serves me right for getting bored on the job, so help me God, I won't ever complain about boredom again. If we can just go back. But I think this is just the beginning. No going back. Only further into the gray.
Got him! His butt was sticking out of the bushes. Okay, my turn to hide now. How about that small opening in the church? They must be working on it. That'd make a perfect hiding spot. Ooh, but it must be so dark in there. It's daytime though. I can't be afraid in the daytime. I'm going to be brave and crawl into that wall. That'll show Bobby who the best hider is. That'll show him good.
The sun doesn't rise over Fearing anymore. The sun doesn't rise at all.
It's not so bad in here. There's some daylight coming in through the hole, so it's not all dark. You'll never find me in here. I'm finally gonna win. Oh, someone's coming.
I went back and sealed up that wall. Ran into Bobby on my way home. He was looking for some little girl. I'm glad he made a friend. I'm glad it's a girl, too. Maybe she'll be his girlfriend.
Sure wish I didn't live alone. I'm not alone, though. Everyone else is scared of the very same thing right now. I'm just in here alone. But we're all in it together. At least I hope I'm in here alone. The darkness has a presence of its own.
I can't find Sarah anywhere. Even started looking through the woods, even though it's out of bounds. Thought maybe she forgot, or decided to cheat. Still don't see her. Maybe she went real deep in the woods. Sun's going down, though. Go any further out, and I won't get back before dark. But I have to find her. She's out there somewhere, and I am going to find her.
I hope the parents know enough to keep my kids inside. I'm especially worried about Sarah. She doesn't like the dark.
It's really scary in here now. Someone came and blacked out all the daylight. I thought it was Robert, so I kept real quiet. It wasn't him going. Now it's all black and I can hear bugs crawling all around me. Oh. But I can't see them. I just shake them off and I feel them on me. And I would feel them even when they're not there. It's too dark for me to tell when they're there or not, so I just keep slapping at myself. Closing my eyes doesn't help in here. No matter how tight I squeeze, or how hard I press my dirty palms against them. It's okay though. Just have to remember that it's daytime outside. Even though I can't see, it's still daytime out. It's daytime. It's daytime. It's daytime. It's daytime.
I don't like it out here in the dark.
I don't like it in here in the dark.
It gets cold in the woods at night. I never knew because I'm not allowed out in the woods. And I'm not allowed out at night. So I guess that's double the trouble if my dad finds out.
Sarah never stays out after dark. She must be having fun with that boy, Bobby. Glad she found a nice friend. He seems like a good boy. Better get her home soon, though.
I can't tell if it's still daytime anymore. I don't know how long I've been in here. The air seems thicker. I keep taking deeper breaths to be okay. Okay. I need to think of Mr. Macabre. If you were here right now, you'd be real scared too. We'd be in it together. Okay. I just gotta pretend that he's here with me.
How long has it been? I haven't the slightest. My clock was mocking me for the first few days, so I ripped it from the wall. Now I don't know if that was 5 hours or 5 days ago. But either way, our town has not seen the light in quite some time. The sun doesn't rise at all.
I thought I saw something move. It's all shadows and trees out here. I can't see a thing, but it looks like movement over there. Not too far from where I'm standing. I'm gonna go see.
That boy better be back in 10 minutes. I swear if he makes me go looking for him.
It's Tommy. I thought it was Sarah, but it's Tommy from school. I can tell now. I haven't seen him in class for a while. He's not very nice to me, so I never wondered where he was. Glad to see him now, though. Maybe he can help find Sarah. Why is he hiding in that bush? Was he playing too? And what happened to his clothes? He must be taking a squat. I shouldn't watch. Oh, he sees me. He's looking at me. I'm not sure he recognizes who I am in the dark. Looks like he's running over. Maybe he wants to play. Seems real excited. And moving on all fours like a beast. What kind of game is this?
11:34 and he's still out there. I'm not a man. I always thought I was. A man works with his hands, and mine are so calcified I can barely close them. But a man would be out there right now and wouldn't come back until he found his son. I wish my father were here. That man never got scared. And if he did, he sure never showed it. And I sit here, unable to step off this damn porch, just looking out at that dark woods, scared of what's out there, or what I'm going to find. I don't know what. But I can't move from this spot. 1,000 little scalding cold fingers pinch and pull me down. I try to lift an arm, but it falls heavy into my lap. Skin hard as stone spreading from my hands and slowly turning me into a statue of a coward. Second thought, I'm glad my dad's not here to see this.
I'm not sleeping. Nobody ever sleeps again. Until I'm laid to rest, I'll stay awake. Stay awake. No one sleeps. No one sleeps. No one. Till my eyelids start to lose a battle of absolute futility. And when I slip into the forbidden realm, cattle prod to my core delivers an overwhelming jolt of electricity that pulls me out as the sound of 100,000 screaming demons calls me back to a place of rancid energy that no man is meant to see. I've brought it back with me. A little bit more every time. The negative charge rejecting my presence is the very force that now lingers in the room, looming over me with a static shockwave in the air, crackling in my ears. I need to stay above water, resist the urge to submerge. I cannot dip into that bottomless source of evil under the surface. I'm unwelcome there, and they are unwelcome here. Whoever it is dwelling down in that abyss, a community of monsters from beyond our imagination, too hideous for human eyes. May they stay asleep and never rise to the top. Let not so much a pebble disturb the stillness in their place of slumber, let alone the splash of my crashing consciousness. I need to stay awake. Stay awake. No one sleeps. No one sleeps. Stay. No one.